You are watching another edition of Blitz, a short review of this game and how just abysmal it was for the Jets. A 30-10 game that really should have been, 44-3, 50-3. Bills took their foot off the gas, just beyond terrible. Read some stats for you. 249 yards versus the Bills in this game. They had 200, almost 250 more yards than us. Fields' QBR was 1.1. His passing grade was a 28.9 from PFF. He had a negative 1.01 EPA per drop back. His adjusted completion percentage went from 88 in week one, or actually almost 89, to 55.6. Two completed passes at halftime. The game was done pretty much immediately. As soon as Fields, it's really three things. Fields hits that dig, nope, misses it on, I believe, third down. You have a Josh Allen scramble for 40 yards. You have a Michael Clemens penalty to make it, on 3rd and 19 to bring it from a field goal to a touchdown. And then the next drive, you have Justin Fields who fumbles the ball and the game is over before, I don't know, the Jets get a first down. The game is over before, 5 minutes into the game. Just brutal. So let's look at how just crappy the first half was. This is all from the first half. A little bit different field today because there's so much bad. I kind of want to encapsulate it all in one little 20-minute video, whatever this is going to be. I'm going to fly through some of these plays, but let's get it started. First play. We're going to go in chronological order here because why not? One of the first runs of the game, if not the first run of the game. Honestly, I'm already trying to erase this game from memory. Josh Myers blows a run block, and you have 58 who fills immediately, brings down Breece Hall for loss of yardage. Now, Josh Myers combo with Simpson needs to keep his eyes up because if 58, which I believe is a Milano, if he shoots the near Simpson will peel off. If he's penetrating and working towards Myers needs to peel off. Myers fully engages with the D tackle, doesn't leave his inside half free. Eyes aren't on the linebacker. Gets there late. Oh crap! He realizes it now once he's already a yard past them, and Breece Hall goes down for the first play of a awful review. All right, next we got a 3rd and 8 play. You have a blitz, and you have Sherwood, who's in man coverage on 26. Looks like he's green dogging, so if he stays in the block, he's going to blitz. But you'd like to see Sherwood with a little bit better awareness of where the avenues are for Josh Allen. He's not obviously super aware or doesn't think about it. 40 yards on 3rd and 8. You have a blitz, okay, where you have Quincy wrapping around. You have two guys diving inside with McDonald and Q. They're trying to pull everybody from the side inside. Quincy's going to wrap around. So you already have pressure coming off of Josh Allen's left. If he's to scramble anywhere, it's going to be to the right or step up, right? There's really not much of a point to follow Quincy here because that's his avenue. So if he avoids that, then you're leaving open grass for him to scramble into. Sherwood doesn't not the best awareness, not the best smarts here. Just follows Quincy and leaves a wide open avenue. You'll see a little bit better awareness of just the play and again where those escape avenues are in that play. 40 yards, 3rd and 8. Okay, Glenn preaching accountability. Didn't seem to hold Clemens so accountable after the game, and then even today, which is Monday, kind of said he's trying to make a play. Didn't really hold him accountable. I forget exactly what the quote was. I haven't watched it yet, but something to the effect of, it's hard to make a play, but got to know better. But kind of gave him an excuse. So penalty on 3rd and 19. Again, we're just running through all these really quickly because it was just so awful. I don't even want to target a position group because everybody was bad, but 3rd and 19, you have Josh Allen who scrambles out to the right, and it's situational awareness from Clemens here. One, you have a superstar quarterback. They like to throw penalties on superstar quarterbacks. It's one. Two, you have a refereeing crew that throws one of the most throws some of the most flags in the entire league. Again, something that you scout and know before the games. And then thirdly, it's 3rd and 19. He takes half a step, one step, and thumps him. At this point, I get it's hard to slow down your momentums, but you can wrap them up and hold them up. But no, Clemens tries to wallops him. Superstar quarterback getting a flag. What else is new? Have to be smarter than that, Clemens. Please, God, get off my team. But it seems like he's not, and Glenn will not be holding him accountable. I can tell you that the Glenn press conferences have pissed me off a little bit because I want him to hold guys accountable, even if he's going to be more stringent and whatever, and a little bit more of an ass, fine, but hold guys accountable. Like, not we have to watch the tape after the game, say, no, we were awful. We have to be better. the watch the tape stuff is what we heard from Salah and everybody else for the last 15 years. So disheartening, but let's continue. All right. The next drive after the Bills convert and get that touchdown, you have a sail, you have a flood concept to the left, naked rollout. Okay, fine. Fields fumbles the ball. The Bills get the ball in the green zone. Right, play action. It's nobody's really fault that he fumbles here, other than his own. He's working through pressure. You got to get two hands on the ball there, and notice that there's guys behind you in pursuit. So you got to get two hands on the ball. Doesn't. And then the other thing I want to mention too here is, and again, this is stuff that you want to see. Oh, Ohio State connection. They could feel it out for each other, all this stuff. I would like to, like, little plays like this. And again, I love Garrett, and I think he's a top 10 to 15 guy, but I specifically say top 10 to 15 because the plays that he doesn't make sometimes, the sliding when he catches the ball, the drop last week versus Ramsey, I get it, but still, there's plays that he leaves out. And plays like this, where you're running a sail concept, right? He's running or a flood concept. He's running a deep over, and he knows that, okay, you have a guy getting into an exit angle, getting depth. You have another guy over the top. I like to see Garrett sit it down here, and find some open grass and give Justin Fields somewhere to throw this ball, because nothing's open. Nothing's open here. Nothing's open here. He's rolling out this way. Everybody's working this way. And Garrett just continues to kind of take it vertical and into guys and doesn't really try to find green grass there either. So I don't love the play from Garrett. Obviously, Fields needs better ball security as well, but little plays like that, you'd think, okay, you have the connection of Ohio State, all this stuff. And he's looking at Garrett, but Garrett just continues the route. Sit this down. He's looking at you. There's green grass there. The Niners games, so like there's, again, Garrett's a very good receiver, but there are some things that he could do to be better into that, top 5 to 10 solidified type of guy, in my opinion. Okay, so now you have the drive. I think the Jets got like 2 first downs on this next drive. I believe that. Well, the last one, obviously, they had to, or they gave up the ball on the fumble. But now you have a team who they've been run blitzing. They've been run blitzing their corners, at least a few times in this game. You have a corner tight right here, and I believe you have a corner tight to the right side of the field. Not the type of play to call an end around. Again, one with 2 guys pressing on the outside, not a play to call an end around. And then versus the team who's specifically calling a ton of corner blitzes in this game and run situations, you can't run an end around. I don't love the call here, regardless if it worked out. And let's say Arian Smith made this play work, but end around with a blitzing corner, and he's brought down for a loss of 10 after you just got the first 2 downs. It just, if they were playing like off 3 or quarters and they were off, the corners were off, okay. But when you have 2 corners, and Tre'Davious White actually does come in from the right side here, because he probably follows Arian Smith, it's just not the right time to call an end around after you're driving versus a team who is, blitzing their corners consistently at this point. At this point, they've done it at least a time or 2 before this play even got called, so just not the right time to do it. Okay, now we have a play where from pistol, Justin Fields tries to hit Arian Smith. You have a flat 7. This is the conflict defender. He determines that he could throw this ball over the conflict defender. They're running a cover 3. You have him with his hips open and a lot of room to the sideline. You'd like to see Justin Fields, and again, there's gonna be some plays where you have to anticipate windows. You can't see things open, because right here he gets to the bottom of his drop. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The ball's supposed to be out now. Fifth step in that drop, you have this picture with him underneath and him with his hips open up to the inside. You got to put it on him outside. That extra hesitation now brings Smith more towards the sideline. Justin Fields also puts too much on the ball, because even if he throws it at that point, yeah, he's still open, but Justin Fields puts too much heat on it. And that's something that I criticize in college, and people are like, oh, this accuracy is great, all this stuff. I'm like, there's times where he puts way too much heat on a ball. That's not necessary. This one's late. It's too high. You have Arian Smith, who tries to make a play on the ball. He actually makes a nice adjustment to it, catches it. He's just not able to bring his second foot down because he gets pushed out of bounds. He tries his absolute best, but also with this play too, and I'll rewind, you have Arian Smith, who even if he caught it, it doesn't matter because he's lined up off sides. Attention to detail. You're lined up off sides, and Field again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out. Takes that extra hitch and puts too much on it. And again, even if you're going to argue, okay, he wanted to see if that linebacker is going to gain more depth. At this point, yeah, it's an NFL level type of throw to back foot and throw that with anticipation. Now, again, not the best thrower. Okay, even at this point, you have the window, but you got to put it on him. And next play. Okay, now we have a misconnection third and 20 from the Jets. Hopefully get some yards back and maybe pin the Bills deep. All about field position. And Garrett Wilson runs a drag from the slot on the right side of your screen. And Justin, no, nothing open deep. Okay, who cares? We're not looking at that, obviously. Justin and good and some good blocks here. We'll talk about some of the good blocks in the full review. But Justin Fields goes to hit Garrett Wilson, puts the ball behind him, a ball that, again, not an easy catch, not necessarily an easy catch. Should Garrett Wilson, a superstar receiver, is getting paid $32.5 million a year, I believe, catch this ball? Yes. And I'm not blaming on Garrett Wilson. This is 90% Justin Fields putting it so far behind him, but got to catch this ball at the same time, right? In very Jets fashion, you have Josh Allen, who on second down, quarterback run gets his nose hit by Michael Clemens. Yeah, Sauce Gardner on, I believe it's Josh Palmer on 3rd and 7, and he gets a hold and he gets beat on this play. And it's little things with Sauce that I just think he needs to be more consistent and deliberate with his technique, because it's to me, it's not, I don't know if it's laziness or just lack of attention to detail, but you have him in the slot right here versus the number 3, and he runs an over, and Sauce's feet are bad, and then he reaches for contact again, which he has to stop doing. But in terms of the press in terms of the soft press that he has on number 3, the problem is his feet. Do you see how he hops back? When you hop back like this, you want to inch back. You want to take small steps that allows for quicker change of direction. But when you're high and you jump like this, now you're taking that extra second, not a second, but quarter of a second, half second here to react. He still gets on it. Offhand jam gets on it. Fine. Again, I still don't love the technique with just how how shallow his feet are in terms of that they're too close together, leads him to jump splitting. Hands on, fine. But the problem here is then he goes and grabs with 2 hands. Again, you have a crew that likes to call penalties. You're already a highly penalized player, so they're gonna have their eye on you. At this point, you could guide the route, like get your hand on his hip, whether that be your left. I would probably recommend left because that's your more upfield hand. Get your left hand on the hip and kind of feel it. But when you start reaching for contact, refs are going to see that reaches for contact, hold, and then he gets beat. 3rd and 7, Trubisky comes in, target our number 1 corner. And listen, and at the end of the day, offensive players and receivers specifically get advantage because they have to push off and stuff. Yes. Did they miss a face mask on, or a hands to the face on 5 on Palmer here? Yeah, because he gets hands to the face, but still no need to reach for contact. And right off the jump too, get a little bit lower into your stance, widen your feet out, and let's not jump split, because it's going to put you behind if you're Sauce Gardner on that one. Okay, a reminder to like, subscribe, all that stuff. Hopefully the season gets better and we don't have to do many more negative videos like this. I know it's a little bit of a change up, been more positive, but when it's this negative, we just got to call it out. So stick around, jetsxfactor.com, subscribe for $5 a month to get everybody's articles, $3 a month on YouTube to just get my full reviews. Appreciate the support from you guys. Again, like, comment, subscribe, helps the algorithm. The next play in the review, the Jets blow a run, pre-snap ID, Hall -5. One of those things where you have a team who is consistently blitzing their corners. You have Tre'Davious White, who's heavy inside leverage on Lazard. He's staring inside. He's not even looking at Lazard. You can just, you see this little stuff on the bottom because they snapped this so quick I couldn't get this thing to go away. But just look at how he's acting in terms of pre-snap. Look at White. Do you think he's blitzing? Should Alan Lazard maybe call that out to Fields? Should Fields maybe call that out to Lazard, or vice versa? Maybe Fashanu should notice that. There should be some type of check. He blitzes, and Bosa pulls in the tackle because this is a design blitz. He pulls the tackle. Now he's coming wide open off the edge. Breece Hall gets the ball, and he's surrounded. Tries to spin out of it, but it's a loss of 5. You're running right into a blitz, and they're showing it pre-snap. And then also with Fashion, we'll get into a little bit, but you want the steps to be a little bit smaller here. Again, when you start to run like, this looks like it's going to be inside zone. You want to go more vertical to outside, because Simpson's not going to be moving with you. He's probably going to combo and get to this linebacker right here. So you don't have any help inside, and that quick penetration could really ruin the run. Takes too big of steps, too flat. Guy's immediately there. Trey White's there because they didn't recognize it pre-snap. They didn't call it out. They didn't change the play. Okay, so we have examples of Fields coming off of his first read too long. We have Fields staring at his first read too long. Again, just inconsistency with his eyes. Here you have a dig, a short in, and you have an out route, like a bench route and you have a situation where Fields has read this properly in the past. You have Garrett Wilson release on a dig and nobody carries him. You have two guys matching the flat right here, a wide open throwing window with an inside break, and Justin Fields is looking right at it. The linebacker gains depth, the safeties gain depth. He's going to cut this in. There's going to be plenty of space right here to throw this ball. Now if this linebacker took an angle over here, okay, I'd understand it, but Garrett Wilson's wide open and Fields comes off of it and then ends up holding the ball and taking a sack because nothing's open. But motion, read the middle, read Garrett Wilson. And again, what is he reading here? How is he seeing two defenders working out into the flat with an inside breaking route and come off of this? Garrett Wilson's wide open. Like, what are his eyes doing here? He's like, nah, I'm not going to throw this inside right here. Why come off of this? Takes a sack. All right, next play. Cook with a 44-yard touchdown against the Jets. Just awfulness all around. Inside zone, missed tackles, missed tackles, missed tackles, lack of effort, making, whatever it is, 12, 13, 14 million dollars here that Stevens is, but we could start on the backside of this play, allowing the cutback. You got McGregor right here on the edge, holding his right hand out there like a loaf of bread, waiting for it to get chopped down. He gets knocked on his ass, and there's absolutely no edge set there. Could have stacked and maybe got involved in that. You have Leonard Taylor versus a combo right here on the backside. Takes it on, standing completely straight up. Chest gets controlled, completely moved off the spot. Right? You got Quincy coming. I'll give Quincy some leeway. It's a little bit harder of a play than it seems to be. You're running away from an offensive lineman. But over pursue, grabs the leg. You got Ball right here who sheds a tight end's block and then goes to get back involved, but takes way too high of an angle. You got Brandon Stevens who comes in, doesn't break down, takes way too high of an angle. I can't kill Malachi Moore here based on, him tripping up and taking a angle, more kind of outside in because of these guys. Both of these guys completely over pursue, get undercut. Ball doesn't get a hand, barely, I don't know if he touches them. Like, what are we doing? He's falling down. He's not even moving right now. And there's two guys just completely over pursuing him. And then Brandon Stevens just wolf on the effort after. He's jogging now. He's jogging. Like he starts to jog at like the almost like the 23-yard line. Man. Man, oh man. All right. You got two blown cover, or not even blown coverage, just awful coverage from Ball right here, who's in like the curl to flat, and Stevens. Let's watch Ball first. He's gonna have anything to the flat to his side of the field. Completely loses it on the play action. This is one of the worst bites I've ever seen in my life. And then having to still get back out in coverage. He's supposed to be in the flat right now. Look where he's at. Look at his assignment. Look how far his assignment's away from him. And Brandon Stevens, same thing. Look at him coming from up top here. Eyes in the backfield, bites on the play action. Oh crap, there's a guy right behind me. Like, what are we doing? Look how bad both these guys are beat. This is the NFL. This is gross. This is just gross football. This is just lazy. It's just lazy. And it's game 2. We better see some guys held accountable because that's the easiest first down you're gonna see in the NFL level or at the NFL level. All right. Another play where the Jets are just straight up out schemed. I think they needed to change some of their quarters, coverages type of rules because it seems like, hey, as soon as one guy goes vertical and one goes short, we're depending on the linebacker to cover ground and two guys take vertical. So bottom of the screen right here, you got both. I get it looks like Cisco and Sauce matching the one because he's the only one who runs vertical. You have the two who runs a short out route. But if both these guys are matching vertical, Sherwood can't be here. Like this is an alignment problem. We're talking about third and 10 here. And based on their rules, they're both going to take vertical. Why is he all the way inside? Why is Sherwood all the way inside? How is he supposed to match this guy? Unless he just sprints immediately, which he could. He kind of slow plays a little bit, but we're giving up a 2-yard out route wide open for a first down on third and 10. Piss poor coaching on top of everything else in this game. Next play. I'm just gonna pull it up. Let's go. I think this is the last. I think this is the last one anyway. Fields missed Taylor. Okay, we got Taylor right here, 85. Let's watch the play. Chip and release on a drag route. Needs to get rid of the ball earlier. They angled this way, both of these defensive linemen. Both of the defensive linemen, which hopefully pulls both the right guard center into the left guard, and then they can't pick up the looping linebacker. So we have a twist here. Looping linebacker gets there. Right, bad job by Tippmann. Tippmann doesn't pass it off quick enough. Needs to pass it off there and trust his other guys and drop off that. So not a great job by Tippmann. You have Fields seeing the blitz coming. You have a wide open drag route. Get rid of the ball. See it, throw it. Yeah, he has to kind of fade out of this throw a little bit, but this is the throw you want to make in the NFL level. Puts it over his head. You can't extend and reach it. That's it for the review. That was all in the first half. That was just one of the most gross displays of football I've seen, and I've been a Jets fan for quite a while. It's just, at least with Glenn, you're kind of sold on it. They're not going to get blown out. They're not going to look unprepared. They're not going to show lack of effort. We saw all of that in this game, so they need to bounce back. With all that being said, appreciate you guys being here. Hopefully the next review is much better. Make sure to check me out on Twitter, JoRB31. Check out the live streams. Check out the long reviews as well. I appreciate you guys, and I'll talk to you soon.